Good evening, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. Today's March 17th, 2022. Guys, so what I wanted to talk about today was uh, it's kind of tied into Saudi Arabia uh, getting ready to sell some of their oil. I don't know, some or all of their oil to China using the yuan instead of the petrodollar. Now, the reason that now this story I touched on this story a couple of days ago when it first came out when I did a video. I didn't put a lot of emphasis on it because I just figured that you know just those words would you know how to say is was serious enough for y'all to get uh the how dire that is for the petrodollar to be kind of like pushed to the side now. um Dire for us guys, for the American way of life. um Really what we've been doing all these years since 1970 or whenever, 73, whenever the petrodollar came into use. um what happened was that we started basically, what we were doing was just exporting all our inflation to other countries, and we had a really good lifestyle. But we abused that, basically having the world reserve currency. Now the petrodollar is is used for oil, right? For oil purchases, but it's basically it's just like the world reserve, having the world reserve currency. It was pegged to oil, especially to the OPEC nations. Now, the reason, guys, that I started to prep was because I I I I was hearing that. Well, first of all, I found out what the world reserve currency was. I had no idea. I did not know anything about that. Um, I didn't know about world reserve currency. I had never heard of that. And I'm talking about this is when I'm in like my late 30s, almost 40 years old. I up to then, I had no idea. I'm sorry to say, I'm ashamed to say, but it is what it is. I just didn't know. But once I learned what was going on, once I learned how the world really worked, right? As far as with money, what really is money? All these things, right? All these really, if you think about it, all these abstract processes going on that made up the monetary system, the world, the global economic system, the currencies and all that. So when I found all that out, right, especially with the world reserve, that we had the world reserve currency, and that China was coming up, uh, especially after 2008, I found out why what the big deal was about 2008 and how they basically bailed out all the financial institutions. Um, I felt that there was no way that 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 the United States economy could continue going. There was no way. If you went by the math and the laws or whatever was around, right? Uh, the 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 way the process, there was no way the economy was going to crash. Now, but I didn't know that the Federal Reserve would change laws, and they would, you know all these things were basically, all these laws were basically done away with. Basically, the way you did banking was tossed to the side, and they basically just, um it's like basically they just took over. Instead of letting companies go bankrupt, the banks go bankrupt, file for bankruptcy, and just fail, right? They didn't let them fail. Somehow the Federal Reserve printed up, just, I want to make it very, very simple, right? The process of buying bonds and creating money, right? The process of that, they basically created all this money and gave it to the banks and bailed them out, with basically free money. Okay. And it kept the system going. So when I really started to, now in 2014 is when I started really hearing about the UN, right? In 2014 I started hearing China was coming up with the SIPs, or SIPs, which is their version of Swift, right? Their payment system or whatever. Um, and we started hearing about the BRICS. At least me, I started hearing about the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And just a quick note here, guys, if y'all wondering why is South Africa, why are they in the BRICS? South Africa is, and you can check this out for me. You could check it out, and but from what I understand, South Africa is one of the biggest. They process the most gold into the bars, right? They know how to process it and turn it into the bricks, into the like refine it and all that. South Africa, most of the gold goes through there. If I might be wrong, but that is the reason why they are part of BRICS. Um, so yesterday, I had a friend of mine text me a story that uh that the Ukraine was gonna be the first country to implement the reset, right? The great, and I looked and I couldn't find anything really. I mean, the search engines. I mean, it wouldn't let me find anything. I looked around and I didn't actually. I really didn't try that hard. I looked for a good 10-15 minutes and nothing was. I was just getting. I kept scrolling down. I just was not looking in the right place. But I wasn't able to find anything. Then today, Mike from Rethinking the Dollar came out with a video, and I'm gonna put that video in the description. And he goes into detail, uh, and he shares links as to what the Ukraine did. Basically, they have this they're going digital, right? They're going digital, and they're gonna get universal basic income. Again, the details will be in those links. Um, and here was one of the, because they do a list, a drop. They have a list. If you want to get, if you want to get those funds or whatever. Um, One of the things that you have to have is you have to get the app, right? You have to get that app. You have to register, whatever, and also you have to have your COVID passport. Okay. I probably see if I don't know if it gets me a strike, if I get a strike from YouTube for saying that, but um so there's things that are on there, and you will, but you have to have that passport. So anyway, guys, my point is that I used to wonder how was this gonna happen, how was this gonna look like. And I used to read, as far as when the Federal Reserve, I mean, when the world reserve currency stopped being the US dollar, right? Because we've abused it, or at least our government has abused it. They've they've given all this money to the military industrial complex. That's why these wars are going on, guys. I mean, all these wars all over the world. Um, these guys are just getting rich. I mean, trillions, literally trillions of dollars. Not just that, but security. Mercenaries and defense contractors and all these companies that are out there for security and things like that. Um, so the planet was literally looted, guys. That really, if the laws were followed and everything was done the way the law says, as far as how banks can work, what the Federal Reserve is supposed to do, all these things, all these companies would have gone bankrupt, and the people, we the people, would have prospered. We might have gone through some hard times or whatever, but that would have gone. We would have rebounded quickly because the companies that were doing right, the companies that were doing things the way they were supposed to, running a good business and keeping their books straight and giving out a good product, all that, we would have they would have survived. They would have made it. But it just amazes me that it got to this point, guys. The Federal Reserve, the central banks, they run everything. There's no, I don't see no way for us to change it or for things to change unless unless I mean I don't know who's gonna do that. Who is gonna hold these banks accountable anytime? And if we try to, you know, run a parallel economic system to theirs or a parallel currency, I mean they shut that down real quick. So anyway, guys, I started to prep because of what's happening now, and it just blows my mind that these things are happening. A lot of people prep because of natural disasters, like I've said before. Some people prep, you know, civil unrest, of course, that there's gonna be a civil war. Um, Natural disasters. Yellowstone's gonna blow up. California's gonna slide into the sea. The New Madrid fault line, whatever. Take your pick, man. But I started to prep. My thing that concerned me was when the dollar started to die and hyperinflation, when all these nations stopped using the dollar and started to cash them in, redeem these dollars, and all these dollars came back. You know what I'm saying? And they flooded our economy. Um, I don't know. I've heard various experts say that hyperinflation needs velocity of money for that to occur. There needs to be velocity of money, right, in the economy, and I don't really see a lot of velocity of money. As you know, our GDP is down, inflation is up, so I don't see really. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that will work in the real world. Um, Believe it or not, guys, a lot of the money, a lot of the money, guys, is, if you're wondering where all these dollars that get printed, besides with the besides in the weapons and all that, the pharmaceutical companies, um, just look at the stock market. The stock market is like at 34,000 or something like that, which is ridiculous, right? The money is in there. That's where a lot of the money is. It's there. It's in the. I mean, but it's dwarfed also by the bond market, right? Because the bond market, basically, that's the cost of money. That's what that is. If you think about it. But guys, I just wanted to share these past couple of days that when I started hearing, especially with when they cut off Russia from Swift, and um, I to my mind, this was just another way of them implementing this reset, right? And it's almost like, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Why would our own president do that or whatever? Why would they? Everything he's doing is hurting our country more than hurting Russia. You know what I'm saying? It's hurting us more. So that's why I felt that this is all by design. And again, it just blows my mind that why I started to prep is happening. And also, all the years that I was telling, a lot of people, when I woke up, guys, it's like I wanted to tell the whole world what I learned. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I remember, I mean, I I wanted to tell everybody what I had just discovered, right? And for them to prepare. So it's those days that I have been prepping for are here, guys. And time is getting short. Things are speeding up, especially with food, right? About food shortages, or growing the food and all that. I All these years, right? That all these little I guess dramatic things have popped up, right? Um, it passed, right? It didn't happen the way what all the panic was not called for, right? In a way. Um, but the things are these things that we've been prepping for. They're here. They're actually here. It's just that we're prepared. Most of us, most of y'all listening to me in this and in this community, this prepper community, um, we're pretty much all on the same page, and we pretty much listen to the same guy, same people. It's funny because Alaska Prepper, he uh, he did a list. He did a shout out to other people that he listens to, other financial people he listens to, and most of the people he called are the same ones that I listen to. And the way he thinks, guys, the way he thinks and the way he prepares, at least to my mind, he's preparing because of inflation and all that, and that was why that was my reason. Um, like when COVID hit, I started prepping because not so much because of the health crisis per se, but because it was gonna create other problems that were gonna lead to the economy going down. That was how I tied it in. Not so much because of the health crisis. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, I really wanted to share that with y'all. That the reasons why I was prepping is happening. And again, I got off track there, but uh, Alaska Prepper, he really articulates very well what I feel. He listens pretty much to the same people, that which tells me that we're pretty much on the same page. He just articulates it way better, guys, and he's got his graphics and all that very down and all that. But I just like to give him credit all the time because he's very good content creator. He's very good, and I mean I can't say enough about him. He's very good. Um, it's been kind of when I started this channel, it was almost like kind of like I wanted to vent a little bit, and there was so much that there was so much going on. I didn't have really a lot of people to talk to about, um I felt like I needed to just talk to more people or something. So that's why I started this channel. um and I've learned so much from all these content creators. I didn't realize that the community was so big. um Prepper Now has a lot of great stuff on at the with the human aspect of with the family and how he's dealing with it, and he gives a lot of great news. um Rethinking the Dollar with Mike. He has a lot of guests, guys. There's so many good content creators out there. It's just, this community is awesome. um Not only do we get a lot of I've learned a lot, but it's almost a comfort from this community and the subs and the comments and all that. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to let y'all know that to me, uh, the reasons that I was prepping, it's here. It's happening to me. So uh, I feel not a relief, but I just feel a validation of all the time and that I've spent, all the crazy looks people would give me, and the all that stuff. But they don't do that no more, not really. Because everything that's been happening, I mean, everything that I used to talk about has been happening. So, and I'm sure y'all have the same, but a lot of people have come to realize that we were onto something, that we were legit in talking about what we were talking about. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a great evening. Hope y'all have a great spring break. Hope y'all wore green today. St. Patty's Day, all that stuff. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of y'all who celebrate it. Anyway, guys, y'all take care of each other and love each other out there, because that's what we're here for. God bless.